question is racial diversity in the police department the key to a better police-community relationship? And if so, how can it be achieved? Who wants to start it off?
Well, let me just say, I think one of the reasons why we kind of looked at that question is, if you look at a lot of incidents that have occurred throughout the country, a lot of times people in the communities are saying, well, if we had people or police officers that look like us policing us, then maybe things would have been different in a particular scenario or a situation that occurred. So we thought maybe let's throw that out there and see what you think about that, and is that something that will make a difference in us doing our job, in us having a better relationship with the community. So feel free to jump in or whatever. Don't be afraid.
We don't get a choice in where we get to go when we come out of the academy. It's based on numbers. And it's not necessarily based on, well, he black, we gonna send him to this area, he white, we gonna send him to this area. So all of us are pretty much plucked, and you put wherever you told to go, and you make that work. And one of the things that we've often talked about in Clippers and Cops is, as an officer, you gotta make yourself available for the community, but as a community, you gotta be willing to accept that this officer might not come from the same background as this area. He might not know nothing about this area, and so forth and so on. But it's gotta be some type of medium where you accept these people in, get to know the officer as the officer needs to get to know you. That way, that gives you access to the police that serve in your area. If you see the officer for he worked the area for 3-4 years, and every time you like, I can't stand the police, what type of relationship is that gonna create? That same officer, we human too. Like that may turn the officer off to you. Where he say, oh, that barbershop, they be looking at me shaking, so I ain't gonna stop down there. You see what I'm saying? Me and Will, the owner of the shop, we were talking about Ozio's across the street. Ozio's is police friendly. You always see a bunch of cops over there because they police friendly. And that makes more officers want to be around that place. So that's an option to try to think about.
I will say this, that the Atlanta Police Department is well represented through all the realms of color, age,
LGBT?
Yeah, LGBTQ. I mean, we have Asian officers, Hispanic officers, Indian officers, not just your normal black and white.
Asians,
Caribbean, a bunch of Caribbeans. I used to be one of the instructors over at the police academy, and I think, let's just guess, I had 30 officers or 30 recruits in my class, and probably 20 of them were from the Caribbean. About 20 of them from the Caribbean. I've been on, I'm sorry, Sergeant Michael Carter, been 27 and some change. And when I first came on, we didn't have a lot of females. We had females, but not as many as we have now. We probably had a handful of LGBTQ people on the department. Same thing with the Hispanics, Asians, but now the city of Atlanta, and we have Major Collier, who can probably speak on a little bit better. He's our academy director, so he gets to see all of the recruits that come in. So I know how our department is, but just in general as a topic of discussion, unless the Major want to add.
I'm Major Collier, I'm the Academy Director, and you're absolutely right. Our department is somewhat mirrors our citizenry, and we do a good job of recruiting. We have 20% of our department are female. That's very high according to the national standards, and we do a good job of recruiting and putting the best out on the street. What was the question? Read the question again.
No, it was. Is racial diversity in the police department the key to a better police-community relationship? And if so, how can we achieve that?
Well, I'll say this: when I talk to a lot of the clients that come in stuff, just to get their general opinion about law enforcement, as a whole. And one thing that a lot of them say is the things they want to say, they don't want to talk about it, like as far as in Atlanta, because the city of Atlanta police is actually really good. They're like as far as diversity and treated. Like, I was going to say that to a couple other states that I've been in. So, you know, I actually had that conversation earlier today. So that was shocking, but that's a commitment, you know, to the APD.
But does it make you guys more comfortable if somebody look like you that works your neighborhood?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Feel free.
So I don't know. I'm Janae. I personally don't think that that's a really big. It's not that serious because I don't know if you remember me telling you about. I live in the cab about the officer pulling us over and putting the gun to my head with the kids in the car. So this is the type of stuff that happens. So because I've been working with you for years, I know, and I know who to call, and I know what to do. I always think about if that would have been a young man or another young lady or somebody that would have said something or jumped or moved too fast or something like that. So I think it doesn't really have to do with that. And then being on the campaign, they put me in the rural South. And I was kind of scared to, you know, come across the police up there because I didn't know how they were going to act. They were cool, you know, I wasn't doing anything wrong, and I let them know I'm here for Stacey Abrams, blah, blah, blah. It was over. So I was calm, I was cool with that. I'm actually scared of some of my black officers, and I don't think it has anything to do with the color, it's the person. When y'all know y'all got messed up officers, and you know who's jacked up, if they got a messed up attitude from jump, get them out, get them out. Get them out of the academy, get them out of the thing, however y'all got to do it. I know y'all got the union and everything, but there's some people y'all know are not supposed to be there.
When you say jacked up, what do you mean?
I mean, like, pulling somebody over on a routine traffic stop, the kids in the car and putting a gun to their head. And I mean, he was literally touching my skull like that. I'm a female, I'm a woman, you know what, why? Because he said, I told you to stop. I couldn't stop in the middle of the street. The law says I can go 5 miles into a lighted area. I literally just made the left turn and pulled into Church's Chicken, and that's how he came out on me. Now, did he go anywhere? No, I still didn't get anywhere because he jumped in his car and he got a gunshot call and he was gone. He wouldn't cover his badge, which I couldn't see the badge number, but I told the lieutenants I would know him in the lineup. It never went anywhere. So that's the type of stuff, it's a disconnect there, especially when, you know, I've been working with gang members forever now. So I know what they're saying on the street, I know what's going on, and people are scared. And they know that it's a big possibility that we're gonna have a civil war, on land, and people are actually trying to prepare for it.